My name is Melissa, and what I'm about to share feels more like a psychological thriller than a real-life story. But every word is true. I almost lost my sanity, my marriage, and my safety, all because of the man my husband once called his best friend. I've been married to Jacob for 4 years. We met during our final year of college. He was quiet, nerdy, and sweet, everything I wasn't used to. I had dated loud, cocky guys before, but Jacob was different. He made me feel safe, cherished. We got married after 2 years of dating, and I believed we had something unbreakable. Until Sean returned. Sean was Jacob's best friend from college, more like a brother to him. They had shared dorms, secrets, and even family holidays. But after graduation, Sean moved abroad for work. I'd only heard about him in stories. Jacob adored him. Sean saved my life, he once told me. He always had my back. When Sean returned to town after 7 years overseas, Jacob was overjoyed. "You're finally going to meet the man who kept me alive in college," he said, practically bouncing like a little kid. I smiled, genuinely happy for him. I wasn't prepared for what came next. Sean showed up at our door wearing all black, sunglasses, and a smirk that made my skin crawl. He was handsome, no doubt, but there was something in his eyes, cold, calculating. When I shook his hand, he gripped it tightly and held it for too long. His eyes roamed over me in a way that made me step back. "So you're Melissa," he said, eyes locking onto mine. "You're even more stunning than your photos." I laughed nervously. Jacob smiled, oblivious. From that moment, Sean was always around. He'd come by late at night just to catch up. He'd text Jacob constantly, planning spontaneous hangouts that often involved coming to our house. At first, I tried to be polite, but something about him felt wrong. The way he stared. The way he stood too close. The way he always smiled like he knew something I didn't. Then it escalated. One night, Jacob had to leave town for a last-minute work trip. Sean came over uninvited. "I saw Jacob's car was gone," he said. "Thought you could use some company." I told him I was tired. He sat down anyway. He started talking about old college days, then shifted the topic to me. "You know, Jacob always talked about you like you were a goddess," he said, licking his lips. "But I don't think he deserves you." I stood up. "You need to leave, Sean." He didn't move. "Or what? You'll call Jacob and cry? He won't believe you." My blood turned cold. "What did you just say?" He smirked. "He won't believe you, Melissa." "You know why? Because I'm his brother. He owes me his life. I protected him from everything, and now I'm just doing it again. Protecting him from a woman who doesn't know what she wants." I backed away toward the kitchen, grabbing my phone. He lunged and snatched it from my hands. "You call him. I'll make sure he sees you as a liar." I screamed. That scared him enough to leave, but not before whispering, "You better watch yourself." When Jacob came home the next day, I told him everything. He looked shocked, then confused. "I don't know what to say. Are you sure it wasn't a misunderstanding?" I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. "Are you seriously asking me that?" "He's never been like that with anyone before," Jacob muttered. "Maybe he drank too much. Maybe he misread the vibe." There was no vibe to misread. I shouted. But he didn't believe me. Not really. Not then. I cried myself to sleep that night, knowing my husband didn't trust me and a dangerous man had just crossed a line no one should cross. The next few days were torture. I blocked Sean. I avoided going outside. I felt like a prisoner in my own home. Jacob tried to act like everything was normal, but I could feel the tension building. And then, Sean sent me a package. It was a plain brown box. No return address. Inside was a single red dress, the exact one I had worn at my anniversary dinner with Jacob. There was also a small envelope with a note. "You looked better in this than he ever deserved. We both know you want me." I nearly threw up. I called Jacob, screaming. He came home and saw the dress. Finally, I saw something shift in his face, fear. "I'll talk to him," he said. "I promise." But that wasn't enough for me. I went to the police and filed a report. I showed them the package, the texts, the call logs. They opened a case for harassment. Jacob confronted Sean. Sean denied everything. Said I had been flirting with him, that I liked the attention, that I was the one texting him first. Jacob was torn. "He's lying." I said, "Can't you see that?" He said you sent him selfies, that you invited him over. I didn't. It was hell. My marriage was collapsing, my reputation being smeared, and the man stalking me was still walking free. So I set a trap. I lied. Told Jacob I had gone to my mom's house for the weekend. Instead, I installed hidden cameras in the living room, hallway, and backyard. I locked all the doors and waited. I watched everything from a friend's place through my phone. Sure enough, Sean showed up that night. He had a key. He walked right in, holding a bouquet of flowers and something in his other hand, a bottle of wine. He walked around the house, calling my name. "Melissa? I know you're here, baby." "Jacob's gone. You can stop pretending now." He poured himself a glass of wine, then walked into our bedroom and lay on the bed. He pulled out a small, black box. Inside was a necklace. It had my name on it. He stared at my photo on the dresser and whispered, "One day you'll see that I'm the one who really loves you. Not him. Me." I recorded every second. Then he started going through our closet, touching my clothes, sniffing them. It was sick. Disgusting. I called the police. He was still there when they arrived. He tried to run. I looked at him, torn between rage and grief. "I don't know if I can ever trust you again." We separated. Months passed. He called, messaged, wrote letters. He started going to counseling. I ignored it all until one day, he showed up at my office with a box full of letters, all from other women Sean had stalked. Jacob had tracked them down and helped them file reports. Some were as young as 17 when Sean harassed them. "I'm trying to make up for my mistake," he said. "Even if you never come back." That was the moment I knew he had changed. We didn't get back together right away. But eventually, slowly, we started to heal. Together. Now we live in a new city. Far from the past. We speak at events about emotional abuse, stalking, and what it means to believe victims the first time. Because I'll never forget this. The most dangerous man I ever met didn't wear a mask or carry a gun. He wore a smile. And he had a key to my house.